talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about. Let's talk about. Yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings, greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about something interesting and intriguing. And today we're talking financial aid and financial literacy. No, they are not the same thing. And my very special guest, Miss Carita Evans, who I have known for many, many years, is going to talk with me and you about those topics. So I'm going to introduce her shortly. But before I do, I need to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We want to know. Let us know in the comments. Put your city and state. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on my LinkedIn page. And so this is an interactive live. Your comments, your questions are welcome. And this is a safe space for us to engage with one another. So I see my mom is in the house, of course. Hey, Ma, in Miami. I appreciate you so much for being here. So listen, y'all need to like, share, tag, tell somebody they need to be in here, especially our college students, our high school students that are about to be college students, our folks that maybe are mature students that want to go to school, to college, or technical school or what have you. They need to be on here. So let them know, let them know, let them know. So I know there will be some other folks joining us, but I'm not going to hold up the introduction. So if you all will just bear with me one moment. Here is her bio right here. So, in 1982, Carita Evans' parents, Dr. Charles L. Evans, who was one of my instructors at the School of Business and Industry at FAMU, and Dr. Connie Hicks Evans moved to Tallahassee. Miss Evans attended FAMU High, Lucy Moulton in 1988. Miss Evans attended Florida A&M University, majoring in business management until living to assist with the armed forces. Miss Evans graduated from Edward Waters in Jacksonville, Florida in 2001 with a BA in business after completing her last service at Navy Air Station in Jacksonville. After attending Edward Waters, she moved back to Tallahassee and received her master's from FAMU in 2005 in business education. She started her career in financial aid at FAMU in 2001 and is currently the assistant director of financial aid, working with all FAMU stockholders. Ms. Evans has worked with the Tallahassee branch of the NAACP since she was in high school, and she became FAMU NAACP advisor in 2005 and vice president of the local branch in 2012 until she stepped down from both positions in 2024. She's assisted all students from middle school to college to get assistance with financial aid and education on financial literacy and has been in higher education for over 24 years. So y'all help me welcome Miss Carita Evans. Yay! You muted.
Yay! Hello. Hopefully everybody is doing well on this Monday night.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Anything for my family, girl.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So we go way back to our little ones being in, I think preschool, new beginnings.
Preschool, yeah.
Yes,
All the way.
right. So that's been more than 3 years ago.
We're not
Mhm.
gonna tell it. We're not gonna tell their age. We
We
young. We
we
young.
we
Yeah.
real young. Right. So tell the people, Carita, who is
Yes.
Carita Evans? Not what you do, but who are you in your own words?
Who am I? I'm just a fun-loving person, girl. I love to just laugh and smile. If you don't know me, you don't know me because I smile all the time. I'm just a very energetic. I love what I do. I love the people that I help, and I just try to do the best I can.
Love that.
Mhm.
Wonderful. So, y'all, please like, please share, please tag a friend, especially parents of high schoolers, especially parents of college students, especially folks that are, again, potentially mature students who might be interested in enrolling in school, higher education, because we're talking financial aid, but we also talking financial literacy, which is also very important and a topic that is near and dear to my heart, near and dear to my heart. So I reckon we can get started with maybe just I think the financial aid piece probably.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, where we can get
So what I normally try to do, and just as an introductory, there are probably about 10 tips that I like to try to give students who are trying to fund their education.
okay.
And in funding your education, you always want to start off with knowing how much it costs to go to the school that you want to attend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it doesn't really matter where you go, as long as you're happy in that space.
Mm-hmm.
And in being happy in that space, how are you going to afford it? Right.
Yeah.
So the federal government has a FAFSA application, and that FAFSA application you can get, and I did send her some links, so she'll get those out to you all. But
Yes.
in doing that, you want to make sure that you're filling out the financial aid application every single year. It is a
Mm-hmm.
free application. We ask that you do it as early as possible. And doing this application is going to allow you to get grants from the federal government
Mm-hmm.
as well as federal loans from the federal government. Those are the two basic things that the federal government gives. A lot of people have the misconception that scholarships are also from the federal government, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
The federal Pell Grant and the federal student loans are the two things that you can get from the federal government from that FAFSA application. But
Okay.
mind you, that federal Pell Grant is not little.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at about $7,000 for the year if you don't include summer. So you're looking at about $3,000 per semester if
Okay.
you qualify. But you've discounted yourself if you don't do that financial aid application.
Mm-hmm.
The financial aid application is a prior year application, right?
Okay.
So for the 25 fall, spring 26, which will be coming up soon,
Mm-hmm.
you're using your 23 taxes. So
Okay.
you've already filled it out. You filled out your 23 taxes, what, last April?
Right.
Right. So when people are saying, well, I don't have my taxes yet, I don't have my, then that means you're late, and which is understandable because things happen in life.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to make it as easy as possible. So they started doing prior year taxes instead of the year of taxes. Right.
Gotcha.
So, for example, too, if you decided that you want to go to summer school this coming summer and you've decided that you want to start early than the fall, then that means you have to do two financial aid applications, which would mean you would do
Oh.
your 2022 taxes for 24, 25, which we're in currently. So
Okay.
fall of 24, spring
Mm-hmm.
of 25, and summer of 25.
Gotcha.
So it's not hard once you start getting used to it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just confusing when it's new, right? But that's why we have all these financial aid professionals to help with that. You have high school counselors to help with that. And
Right.
when you are confused, you want to ask questions. So if you go out to the financial aid website, studentaid.gov, there
Mm-hmm.
is a list of frequently asked questions.
Yes.
Every single question that you can think of, the federal government has already thought of it.
All right. So that link is on the screen. So definitely it's in the comments. So on Facebook and YouTube. So you can click on it and it'll take you right there.
Yeah.
We got a few folks that have joined us. I want to just acknowledge them. Tangi Jones here in Tallahassee. Thank you for joining us. Latrice Schuler in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. And Miss Dorothy Potter. Thank you for being here, Miss Potter. I appreciate you down in Miami. So, all right, FAFSA. I remember filling out that FAFSA, boy. That felt like a whole quiz, boy. I'm telling you.
It's not as bad as taxes, though.
I guess, but ooh,
Yeah,
you used to
no,
be
yeah, kind of.
naughty, my Lord.
They do get into your personal business.
All in your business.
Yeah, they really do get into your personal business. And
Mm,
I do get a lot where people are saying, "Oh, I'm not getting any financial aid. I'm not getting any financial aid." And specifically, they're talking about the grants.
right.
And 2024, 2025, there are a lot of us that are middle class now.
Mm-hmm.
And we just, are grinding and we're making the money that we need to be able to survive. But at the same time, the federal government saying that you're making enough money to survive and pay for your kids to go to college.
Right. Right. That part. That
So
part. That,
that middle class thing is not as conducive as it used to be back in the 80s.
yeah, that dog ain't nothing. So
Unfortunately, a lot of the parents that I deal with are like, well, I'm not getting any financial aid, but I don't want you to discount the fact that there are loans out there.
mm-hmm.
I had to take out loans when my parents decided they were no longer going to assist me.
Mm-hmm.
And that assisted me in going through college. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, um, loans are not a bad thing. The interest rate on the loans are normally better than credit cards,
Mm-hmm.
and when I mentioned earlier that the federal government doesn't offer scholarships, I gave some links too for all the places that you can start researching and looking for scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you're applying to go to college, you have to apply to get scholarships.
Yeah. So this is a scholarship link that is for FAMU.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So that's another one that you can check out in the comments. All right. So a couple more folks have tuned in. Miss Kiosha here in Tallahassee. Thank you for joining us. And Alicia Lurie. Hello from Tallahassee. Did I say that right? Elisha? Alashi. Yes.
I always say
Right.
her name wrong, so we're
Okay.
gonna
Well,
cover
thank
Miss
you for
Laura.
being here. We appreciate you. All
She
right.
corrects me all the time as one of my girlfriends, so thanks for hopping on. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
And Miss Tanisha over in Madison County. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Oh, I
All
like the
right.
way she spells her name.
Yeah. So, all right. So, FAFSA, very important. Scholarships, grants, all of that is important, right?
There are so many scholarships out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I sent you my financial aid website link. And on my financial aid website, if you go to types of aid, and every college and every university, every community college might have the same thing. So, like I said before, it's not synonymous to FAMU,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about the things that I know specifically. So if you go out to my financial aid website at FAMU, click on types of aid, you
Mm-hmm.
scroll down, there's a list of 100 and some scholarships that students can apply for.
Wow.
Some of those, for example, are UNCF and Thurgood Marshall. And it is true that
Mm-hmm.
students can get abundance in scholarships, right? So know one, how much does it cost for you to go to school?
Right.
Two, know that you need to fill out your financial aid application.
Mm,
Three, you need to know that you need to apply for scholarships.
yeah. And know those deadlines.
Ooh, very, very important. The
Mm,
Presidential Scholarship Office, and for those who attended FAMU back in the day, um, there was something called the um, um, Presidential Scholarship that Dr. Humphrey started.
yeah.
And that presidential scholarship was full and partial scholarships. And
Mm,
their deadlines are normally the year before you attend. So for
mm,
those students that's trying to come fall of 25, those deadlines are probably within the next month or so for next year.
mm,
So if you haven't already been admitted for next year, then you probably won't get one of those full or partial scholarships because their deadlines are very strict.
yeah.
So if you have the opportunity, go look at their website. They have calendars out there. They give you the dates of everything. So, when parents do call and say, well, hey, my kid didn't get a scholarship from FAM, probably not. You probably either got admitted late or they were waiting on something in admissions or, there just could be so again life situations.
Right.
Right. So definitely adhere to the deadlines. Just
Mm.
like right now, if you decide that you want to go to summer school, June 30th is the last day to do a FAFSA for summer.
Mm.
So if you don't have it June 30th and you
Wait,
going into yeah,
June 30 or January
June
30?
June 30th
Okay. Okay.
of this year,
Okay.
be able to get money for this summer of
Got it.
25.
Okay.
Yeah, June 30th will be the deadline to do the federal government application. So
Okay.
if you haven't done it and you come to summer school and summer ends in August and you haven't done it, you're going to end up with a balance because you can't
Mhm.
pay for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's also work study. Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay. Let's do it.
Students love to call their mom, call their dad. I'm going to need a couple of dollars. We
Hmm.
all as parents know how that goes, right?
Oh yeah.
And in those couple of dollars, if you get work study, it's a job on campus,
Mm-hmm.
working 20 hours a week. You're
Mm.
getting an actual paycheck. That paycheck does not go to your tuition and fees. It goes to a paycheck in your pocket, just like you were at Swanee Swifty. I don't know, y'all might not remember Swanee
Now
Swifty.
you went way
Yeah,
back now. I don't know. What's
Wawa,
150?
Wawa. And I just tell my age. Wawa.
Yes.
Like you work at Wawa, got your paycheck every 2 weeks. This right here will be a paycheck you get every 2 weeks if you get work study.
Okay.
But just like I said before, FAFSA, you need to do it early. So like 25, 26 FAFSA open December the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have students waiting till next August
Mm-hmm.
to do their FAFSA.
Okay.
So that's late. December 1st it opens, so you can go and do it for fall and spring of next year, and it's already ready. Just go put your information in.
Okay. Very good. So let me pause. We got a few more folks that have joined us. Tina Brewster. Hi, Carita.
Hey!
Here we got Miss Kesey on here in Tallahassee. And Emmanuel said, not Swanee Swifty.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did say Swanee Swift. I used to work at Swanee Swift. Don't do that.
Many a college student did.
Like I said, my parents said, we are not going to assist you any longer.
Yeah. Yep.
I had to have 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs.
Listen, I get it. I get it. All right. Okay. So again, deadlines, make sure you meet them, make sure
Yeah,
you submit all your paperwork
yeah.
and, read over everything carefully. Right.
There is also a worksheet.
Okay.
They do give you on the FAFSA website, and I can send you those links as well. In a
Okay.
PDF form, you can print the FAFSA. So you
Okay.
could sit down with your student and go through each question to make sure that you're making in tune decisions and the right decisions.
Mhm.
Because they are asking for your income, they're asking for your family size, they're asking for your investments. All
Mhm.
of those things are allowing them to see what your household looks like. Now, unfortunately, they don't look at your daily bills. They don't really are not concerned the fact that you got to pay a car payment and a mortgage. That
Yeah.
is not a question on the FAFSA. People are like, well, I need to tell them what my bills are. They don't want to know that. They
Yeah.
want to know what the income is. There are some colleges and schools too that actually get funding later on in the year and later on in the semester. So it doesn't hurt to go and ask your financial aid office if there's any other funding that they might have.
Mhm.
Sometimes, the majority of the times, especially at FAMU, the answer is no, right? Because we don't have additional funding like other institutions do.
Mhm.
But when we do have funding, we do try to go by date order. We do try to award you according to when you filled out that FAFSA. So that's
Gotcha.
another early bird gets the worm. My
Okay.
grandmama used to say that, right?
Yeah.
Early birds gets the worm. So there could be other opportunities. State grants. Who gets Bright Futures? That's from
Mhm.
the that's from state, right?
Right.
Just like I think in Georgia they have Take Stock.
Mhm.
So Bright Futures is only for Florida residents. So if you're in high school or your student is in high school, make sure that they get their volunteer hours, make sure that they get and go and apply for Bright Futures because
Mhm.
that also opens up other things like veterans benefits,
Mm.
right? There are some other scholarships out there. I know there's a Jose Jose Gonzalez scholarship on that website as well. I'll have to send you that link too.
Okay.
But the state of Florida has a website where they have a lot of scholarships,
Gotcha.
especially for veterans and bright futures.
Okay.
So there is more money out there. You just, again, like I said, just like you're going to college, you have to do your research. And
Right.
one of the things I try to tell students is you're going to class. I get that.
Mhm.
You're living. I get that. But your financial responsibility is just as great as those two things.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, all good information. And again, things that we need to be mindful of as again, we are preparing our young people
Mhm.
for college after high school, for college, maybe if they've taken a break. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
again, just be mindful of those deadlines and the requirements. And just make sure you fill out everything like you should. If financial aid is not only loans, but it again is scholarships, is grants, and there are many opportunities for all of that. It's work study.
Yep.
All of these are just forms of financial aid.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Remember the federal government application. The FAFSA is free.
Mm-hmm.
You might get a lot of emails asking, "Do you need some help doing this? You can pay me for it." Right?
Mm-hmm.
The federal government application is free, so
Gotcha.
please do not pay anybody,
Mm-hmm.
do anything. There's a lot of companies that will say, "Well, I'll give you a list of all these scholarships, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
try to guarantee that you can get something."
Yeah.
Okay. You see my face, y'all.
I
So
see your face.
it, in those aspects, a lot of them are scams. So
Mm-hmm.
going through your emails, don't click on them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't give them your information. Um, the federal government, you have to sign it. Your student has to sign it. They're getting permission to use your tax return, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no one else should be asking you for any of that information. And if they are, just put up your little antennas to say, okay, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't feel right, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you definitely want to avoid those scams.
Yeah.
When you're thinking of cost, you also might want to think of community colleges,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some community colleges are cheaper than going to a 4-year institution.
Mm.
Some high schools are now allowing students to graduate with their AA,
Right.
right?
Dual
So that's
enrollment.
allowing you now to come into college your sophomore, junior year where you're not paying for a 4-year degree.
Right.
I know most of the high schools in Tallahassee have that partnership with FAMU and FSU where you
Yeah.
can take college credits. If
Yeah.
you can do that, please take advantage of it if they
Mm.
qualify, because I know they have to do a lot with that. But even going to a community college, even though what TCC is now Tallahassee State College,
Right.
they're still cheaper than FSU and FAMU currently.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that might be a better avenue to save money, right?
Right.
To be able to say, well, let me go here for a little while and then I'm going to transfer over.
Mm.
FAMU and FSU both had that partnership with TCC or TC Tallahassee State College where
Sure.
they'll allow you to transfer in with your AA. So I'm
Okay.
assuming that program is still exists because now they've changed. I'm not
Yeah.
sure exactly. I haven't researched that part since they've changed last year.
Right. Right. Right.
But definitely see in terms of that cost because you might not be able to afford it
Mm-hmm.
for the 4 years. And remember, you're looking at it for 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And why do I say 5? Maybe 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie and say that I wasn't a band groupie. And one of them semesters,
Mm-hmm.
I got a little carried away.
Got a little carried away. Mm-hmm.
So I had to redo a couple of classes. So
Mm.
that is an extra cost that you have to consider, which
Right.
then takes the time even longer than what you expected, right? So you're not really graduating in 4 years. You
Mm.
might be graduating in 4 years and a couple of semesters, which takes you to 5
Yeah. For
or
sure.
6.
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. For sure. So we have a few more folks that have joined us. Brother Quasi in Atlanta, thank you for being here. And Miss Lady Tanisha here in Tallahassee, thank you for joining us. We're talking financial aid and financial literacy, and we've actually only been talking about financial aid thus far.
Okay.
So one of the things that I think that students should do, high school students, in particular, especially if they are looking to get some aid, is put together a notebook of scholarships that are available and have those letters of recommendations handy, have those essays handy. You might have to tweak the essay a little bit based on whatever the requirements are for that scholarship, but if you get a list of those scholarships and apply, who knows? You might be able to cover a year or 2 or full scholarship for that matter with, some free money, money that you don't have to pay back, which is what you want, right?
Right, right. And so a lot of people will say, well, I applied and I never got anything.
Mhm,
1 year has nothing to do with the next year. Just because you applied your freshman year does not mean you don't need to apply again in your sophomore year.
mhm,
What I like to say is that most scholarships and most companies, it's a tax write off.
mm,
A lot of people don't realize that. So if I give you $5,000, I get to write that off on my business taxes, right?
mm,
So in that aspect, my guidelines also might change because in your freshman year, I gave it to 2 people. Your sophomore year, I decided I want to change my requirements. And now the 2 people I gave it to the prior year, they're not going to get it this year because now I've changed my requirements. I could have
mhm,
increased my GPA. I could have said I only wanted females to get it
mm,
because it's my money. I get to do with what I want to do. So
right,
in keeping a book, like you said, you want to go back to that same company and say, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try again because it might have
mhm,
changed.
mhm,
For me, no does not hurt. I like to ask everybody. I tell people all the time, you got 50 family members. You need to ask 50 family members for $50
mm,
compared to asking 50 family members for $100
mm,
or asking 50 family members for $500.
right,
I'm not likely to give you $50. You got books.
yep, and them books cost money.
You got books, right? And I
Mhm,
can write that off on my taxes as an
mm,
educational contribution.
oh, wow,
Mhm.
hadn't thought about
So
that.
there are always ways to be able to try to find that money,
Yeah,
right? And
oh,
in going with the idea that you just had is to create a book, you also want to create a book your freshman year of all the different departments that you've spoken to within that organization.
mhm,
So you want to make sure you have a contact that you've spoken to in admissions or the registrar, or
nice,
if you're going to school of business, who's your advisor?
yeah,
And if your advisor changes, do you
mhm,
have a copy of your curriculum? Because all of these things lead up to your financial literacy.
mhm,
And how do I budget? So if I'm budgeting, and say, for example, and you did send them a link for the cost for undergrad, right?
yes, let me go to
So,
that.
so if it costs you about one semester $12,000 for one semester, we're
Mhm,
looking at tuition, fees, room and board, and books, and some other things that we try to put into that cost of attendance, right?
mhm, mhm,
So when you're budgeting, you're saying, how do I pay for all of this? And you're writing down, oh, well, I have this $5,000 scholarship. Oh, I'm getting this $3,000 Pell. Because now you're budgeting. Well, how much more do I need?
mm,
And that's where your financial literacy comes into play. Do you know how to budget? And if you don't, then that's a conversation that needs to be had,
yeah,
right? There are so many different organizations like Head Start, like Trio.
mhm,
They give you those tools as parents and as students to help learn how to make sure that you're budgeting correctly, because
yeah,
that will come into play if you decide to move off of campus. Do you
mm,
have enough for rent? Because if you're on campus and you have housing on campus, you're automatically going to get a meal plan on campus so you don't have to worry about food. But what if you're off campus,
right.
right?
So it's all of those things that you have to kind of count up the cost of, right?
Yes.
Mhm, mhm,
Do you have health insurance? That's an expense.
yeah,
If you don't have health insurance from your parents and you're an independent student and you don't have health insurance, the state has now decided that each student in college has to have health insurance.
Mm.
So that means that your university that you're attending is going to charge you health insurance because
I
you
didn't
have,
know that.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's another expense.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone that's going to college or thinking of going to college, make sure that you look at your school and college to see what their cost of attendance is and what's in that cost of attendance. Because you
Yeah.
don't want to be blindsided, right?
Mm-hmm. You
You don't want to
definitely know that. Yeah. So we are about halfway through our conversation. For those of you who may be just tuning in, I am on with Miss Carita Evans. I call her the financial aid guru. And we talking about financial aid and financial literacy. And we actually are kind of moving on along to the financial literacy piece. So you talked about having a budget, right? The importance of that. I know for some
yeah.
people that might feel like a bad word, might feel restrictive, but it's just knowing where your money is going, where it's coming in from and where it's going.
But it allows you to learn about your day-to-day living expenses. It allows you to live within your means because we do have those that are living without outside of their means. And
Mm-hmm.
that means that you have $1, but you only can spend 50 cents and now you spent $2, but you still only have $1. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't live with outside of your means.
Yep.
Allowing you to know if you need to borrow short term or if you need to borrow long term and what those budgets look like going forward. Because remember what we said, you're looking at 4 years of college. If you're looking at $24,000 a year for the next 4 years, or you're looking at $38,000 a year as an out-of-state student for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's an investment.
It is.
That's a car note. That's a mortgage.
Mm.
What are your responsibilities and how are you going to navigate financially through all of that?
Yeah.
Majority of the freshmen coming to college depend on their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then the parents will say, well, I ain't got no money.
Right.
Then what?
What are they gonna do?
You
What?
want to try to not fall into the pitfalls of, like I said, living outside of your means or over budgeting because us as parents, we
Mm.
still have to retire one day. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And we don't want to have any foreclosures. We don't want to have any defaults because now we want to talk about the backside of it. When you
Right.
don't budget, you're looking at bankruptcies and parents going and living outside of their means to help their student go through college.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about this the other day when I was telling you how when I'm on social media
Mm-hmm.
and I see all these expensive, beautiful parties that they're
Yeah.
having for graduation. They're
Yes.
spending $3 and $4 and $5,000 on this beautiful high school graduation
Mm-hmm.
party that's going to college, right? Y'all forget y'all have to pay for everything in the dorm. You got to decorate the dorm.
Right. You
You
got
got to
it.
buy
Gotta
books.
get all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, let's look at where we're putting our money
Mm-hmm.
because every single dollar counts when you're looking at it over 1 year to 5 year period. $24,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, then what's the plan? And that's where I get into students saying, well, I don't want to take out a loan. Okay, so what's the plan?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to take out a loan.
So
What's the plan?
what's your thought about prepaid college?
Ooh, I had prepay for both my kids.
Okay.
That's an investment plan. I
Mhm.
started, I mean, and here I go with the Swanee Swifty. Y'all remember Gerber Life?
Oh my gosh. Again, you telling your age, Mel. Yes, we remember Gerbalife.
That was an investment before Florida Prepay came about,
Okay.
right? And I had Gerber Life on both of my kids. And then when they got past the Gerber Life, I took the money out of Gerber Life and put it into Florida Prepay.
Okay.
So it is an investment and it's a parent's choice. I was going to say another one. I can't think of it now, but I see a baby right now. But no, I definitely encourage any kind of investment. What we're doing now is as grandparents, I'm not a grandparent yet. I'm wannabe, but I'm not. But
Mhm.
as grandparents, we are now investing in our grandchildren's education and saving money for them to go to college.
Mhm.
So those investments are definitely important, and I definitely want people to do their research. If they can do it, then I suggest you do it, especially if you have small children,
Yeah. Okay.
because you don't want to wait till they're 17 and 18. You don't want to wait till their junior and senior year of high school to say, oh, I need to start saving some money for college.
Mhm.
That's another reason why I want to get into the middle schools and elementary schools to encourage students to say, yes, I want to go to college. Because I
Mhm.
think that our culture has now shifted to where, and not that entrepreneurship is not a bad thing,
Mhm.
but college is still there for a lot of people who think that they can't go to college.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and with the prepaid piece,
Mhm.
you are locking in today's prices for tomorrow, right?
That's what they say.
Mhm.
So I think it's 36 or $40 per credit hour.
Mm.
So if you lock it in now and say tuition and fees rise to $50 or $60 per
Mm.
credit hour,
Mhm.
each institution is different. So you definitely, like I said, make sure that you're knowing the price of where you're attending to go to college. But
Right.
yeah, you definitely want to lock in whatever you can lock in, because
Mhm.
housing and meal plan are exorbitant.
Yeah.
To stay in the towers on FAMU's campus, to stay at FSU, I'm trying to remember the name of the dorm right now. I can't think of it, but you're looking at $3,000 to $4,000 a semester.
Mhm.
That's a lot when you're thinking of tuition and fees. You're not adding in all those other costs: housing,
Mm.
meal plan, books.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. All right. Well, Miss Lisa Perry just joined us. Hey, Lisa. She's here in Tallahassee. So I think we need to dive more into this financial literacy piece
yeah, yeah,
because I tell you, credit scores and all of that wasn't something that was, big when I was a freshman. Yes,
yeah,
they did have, you can, fill out this credit card on campus and get a t-shirt or a towel or a koozie or whatever was the giveaway of the day.
yeah.
Um, but I didn't know anything about credit cards or any of that sort of thing. So,
And the thing that's happening now, and I have to say that this happened when I graduated from high school. I got so many credit card notices in the mail.
mhm.
My mom and dad said, "Don't you touch." No, no. But our students now, my nephew was walking through the airport, and they stopped him, and he applied for a credit card and got like $20,000 on the credit card. Did not understand
Oh,
what
wow.
a credit card was, or that he didn't need to just be buying gas and food.
Right. That's scary.
Financial literacy, broadly speaking, is to benefit the student or the individual to make smart decisions about their
Mhm,
finances,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
We don't want you to be devastated by making financial mistakes, like opening a $20,000 credit card and then realizing later that somebody got to pay it.
Right.
And then, of course, like you said, affecting your credit score.
Mhm.
What happens if you have an emergency?
Yeah.
Financial literacy is going to help you prepare for that.
Mhm,
I tell students all the time, if you are taking out your loans and you're getting a large refund, put some of it away,
mhm.
because you might have to buy four tires.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With all of the devastation that we have right now with the fires and the flooding, and you never know when there might be an emergency.
Mhm.
That's going to help you plan for those type of things if you sit down and talk to someone who knows more about financial literacy. Like me.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So Shantina just joined us. Thank you for being here, Tina, and Dr. Anika Fields, who is over the counseling center over at FAMU. Thank you for being here, Dr. Fields. Appreciate you so much. So yeah, you're right. Life is life, and
Yeah, yeah,
and there are things that come up unexpectedly. So it's
yeah,
good to is the extent that you can put something away for a rainy day, because it's going for sure rain one day.
yeah. But it also helps you reach your goals,
Hmm.
right? And understanding how to budget and save money allows us to create a plan that defines our expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Because my father and my mother were great at budgeting and taught us how to save money. I mean, my parents opened our first checking account at Family Credit Union probably when I was 13 or 14.
Okay.
I would have to, my father would allow, I'm going to put it in a nice way, for us to iron his shirts.
Okay.
And in ironing his shirts, you know, you would get $2-3 for
Uh,
ironing shirts. So I was trying to iron 50 shirts.
you was trying to raise some money, huh?
What? Because I had in my mind that I didn't want to go and ask my parents for money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would go and look into my little bit of savings account and be like, ooh, I got money in there. You know what I'm saying? So that built my confidence, right? Because I was doing something and I was achieving something and putting that money away. It just allowed me to feel and exude that, oh, I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And then that education that my parents gave me allowed me to buy my first house at 21. You know?
Commendable.
Right. And then being an entrepreneur, once I started in my career, it allowed me avenues to do so much more. So those are the kind of things that we want to give to our, I don't want to say children, but to the younger generation. We want to uplift them and give them that confidence that they might not even know they have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely having those conversations. And if we aren't equipped, there are many tools out there that we can use, right? There are apps, there are videos on YouTube, there are templates, that, you know, just a lot of resources out there that folks can use to help them be more informed and to help them track their spending. Because again, essentially that's what we're doing. Like you want to know where your money is going. And you know, if you don't know, it's like riding down the window and just letting the money fly out. And if y'all gonna do that, just let me know and I'll follow you so I can pick it up.
Right. And there are 3 things that I want people to take away from financial literacy.
Okay.
And needs, savings, wants.
Okay.
And what I've seen in higher education is that the wants outweigh the savings and the need. Right? Do you need the pair of shoes? Or do you want the pair of shoes? But the dollar is not going to allow you to buy them shoes.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I had like 2-3 jobs, right? Because I knew my want sometimes outweighed my need and I had to do something about it. Right? So unfortunately, in the society that we are right now, a lot of our educational participants, I'm trying to be politically correct, are living outside of their means and they're living more for their wants and not their needs.
Yes.
So I definitely want those 3 things. If we can take it away, our needs are first, our savings are second, our wants are third.
Okay. Kesey said this is good information. Thank you, Kesey. And Lisa said, how much should our college students have in savings?
So it really depends. We want to make sure that everything for their education is taken care of first. Right? If a student is getting any kind of refund, I always tell them to take half of that refund and put it in savings.
Okay.
The other half needs to go to something that they're going to remember. Because majority of the time, students will take their refunds and not have any idea what they spent it on.
Miss Blown.
Blown. Because I do make a point, and only because I'm nosy, I go to the mall that first, second, third week of school just to see all the bags that are being had, you know. And it's funny because when people come up to me, hey, that's the financial aid lady. I see you in the mall. Don't come to my office asking me for more money. I just feel some kind of way about it.
Wait a minute now. You can't hold that against them.
Why I can't? When you call me out as the financial aid lady, in the mall. That means you see me. That means I see you, right? So
Lord.
they don't think of it that way.
Yeah, I better hide your bags right
Well,
here.
I
Financial
don't go
aid.
every refund. I usually just go that first one
Okay, all
because I
right.
want to be nosy. I'm just want to go see something.
Uh,
Going in the mall, be packed with the bags, girl.
indeed, I'm sure. I'm
But
sure.
that's going to come into play when they're coming in and they're saying, "Hey, I need some more money," and I'm saying, "Well, I see that you got this really large refund. This is
You
a
better keep them receipts.
$3,000 refund. What happened? Explain to me what happened, because that's another part of the financial aid application. They're
Mm,
getting all your personal business, but they're not taking into consideration if something else happened that changed that personal business, right?
mm.
So that's where we can go in as financial aid officers and advisors and counselors to go in and see if there's something not the financial aid, he must know that term. But yeah, if we can go in and make some changes or make some updates, get some documentation from you. Say you lost your job, you
Mhm.
might not be making that same income, right? Now your budgeting and your finances are not the same way as they were when you filed your taxes. We can come in, we can sit down, and we can have that type of conversation, so we can try to help.
Okay, good
Yeah.
deal. Uh, let's see. She said, "Thank you all for the valuable information. You are welcome." And Kesey said, "This is such a wonderful feeling when you save." Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, DC.
And Anika wants definitely outweigh the needs with the majority of the students I see.
Okay, me too.
Mm.
And we just have to help them to
Yeah,
know that,
yeah,
this want needs to be once you get out of college
right.
and get a job.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't need you to live like you have a job
yeah.
while you're in college.
I heard some students, they came to volunteer with
Yeah,
Habitat on Saturday, and they were
yeah.
saying, "I'm tired of being broke. I don't have no money." And I'm thinking that is the college student's song. Like
Right?
that
But you're supposed to be broke.
exactly. You a
You don't have no
student,
job.
you have a job. And if you have a job, it's probably gonna be a lot. Well, not it's probably I know it can be a lot of pressure on you trying to work even part-time and go to school full-time. So it's a lot.
But then you think about the fact that you are now understanding the responsibility of your finances, right?
Mhm.
That then helps you to understand multiple tasks, having a job, going to school, having children, going to school.
Lord,
All of these
know
things kind
that
of
too.
play off of each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
know that too. Had a job, had a child, and was in school.
Me too.
It's a lot. It is a
Y'all see, I didn't get my master's to 2005.
mhm. Yes, ma'am.
Shoot, I was working it.
Right. So Lisa said,
Yay! Congratulations.
yes, my daughter graduates this spring. Thank God she only has 2,000 in savings. She is
Mhm.
taking a gap year, then headed to law school at FSU. She's
Okay.
only working part-time though. How should I advise her?
As a grad student, she's only going to get loans. There's no more free money.
Mm,
So you need to take that into consideration when she's saying that she wants to go into higher education.
mhm,
Higher education after a bachelor's is a choice. And to be able to budget that and write it down, because law school is what, 2, 3 years? I
mhm,
don't even know. But that's 3 years of an expense. How much is FSU? Have you sat down, put it in black and white so she can see the expectation?
mhm.
And you can say, who paying for
Yeah, she said 3 years.
it? Lisa, who paying for it?
Right, she said loans for law school unless you know any of scholarship information. Yeah,
There, like I said, check FSU's financial aid website,
I can
check
see.
FSU's law school.
Mm,
There are scholarships out there. How hard it is to get them, it would be the question. Thurgood Marshall, put that in the chat,
mm.
UNCF, they give money across the board
Okay.
if it is a partnering school. So you need to do some research to find outside scholarships. Again, most universities don't have specific scholarships for their students. The students have to find them. Now we have FAMU Foundation. FSU has a foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to reach out to those foundations to see what kind of scholarship opportunities or endowments that
Right.
they may have,
Okay.
right? So those are also sources of income that a student can get. And of course, those are the ones you don't have to pay back.
Right.
I know that's what we want.
Lisa
Um,
said she is paying because my money funny.
Girl, I put both mine through college, really three through college, because I'm tired. I'm
Right.
waiting for some reciprocation,
Reciprocity.
reciprocity. I ask my kids all the time, "Are y'all gonna give me some money back?" Like, then they look at me like the deer in the headlights.
Uh-huh.
Are
Uh-huh.
you seeing through me because you know,
Right. Right.
Lisa, honey? Yeah, yeah. She gonna be calling you, so prepare her. Sit
Mm-hmm.
down, put it in black and white. That's my best advice. Budget it for the next 3 years. This is how much it is a year. This is how much it is a semester. This is how much your loan is going to be, right? Do we need to get a grad plus loan outside of that? What
Mm-hmm.
is FSU offering her for the law school? Because if they're not giving her no money, everything's coming from her. And she needs
Mm.
to make sure she's understanding that
Yeah.
it's not coming from Mama Perry.
Right. 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 No, that is very good advice. Definitely want to write it out and see what those expenses will be. At least have some type of estimate.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on a lot of social media platforms, but I definitely am on Facebook. So if somebody inboxes me, just say, "Hey, I saw you on with Nicole," and
Yep.
I'll definitely have a conversation with you,
Mm.
um, because I want people to learn.
Yeah.
Just like I learned, I taught myself, I learned, I read, I still read. So more knowledge is always better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if there was, I mean, I know we've talked about several things, but
Mhm, mhm.
things that you kind of see in the day to day that you kind of wish people would get. What might that be?
Um, Mainly learning about how you're going to earn money,
Mhm.
how you're going to spend money, how
Mhm.
you're going to save money, how you're
Okay.
going to borrow money, and how that projection will look in 4 years, 5 years, 2 years, however many years you want to project it. But you want to be able to project something. You want to be able to understand the income that's coming in and the income that's going out. And if you don't have that understanding, you're going to constantly live above your means.
Mhm. Okay.
And we don't want to have to live paycheck to paycheck.
We
It's
don't.
hard. It's hard.
It is.
I've done it and it's no fun.
Yep. It
Yeah.
is. It is. It
So
is.
let's not live paycheck to paycheck, and let's teach our youth on how to do it the right way.
Mhm. And try to get the free money.
Yeah, yeah. But the loans are there. And
Mhm.
trust me, if you walk into a bank, you're not gonna get 6% interest.
Mhm.
You're not. Just as soon as you walk in, you're automatically gonna be offered 9 or 10. So
Mhm.
even though we don't want the loans with the federal government interest rate is very, very low. It's
Mhm.
better than a bank, it's better than a credit union, it's
Yep.
better than outside lenders like Sally Mae. So I don't want you to discard loans only because it says it's a loan, but
Mm.
it is to assist you with your higher education. So
Right.
I don't want people to be discouraged because of that. But it's
Mm.
cheaper than a credit card. Who knows what their credit card interest rate is?
I don't. But
It's
but one of the things that I do,
mhm,
even though I have more than one credit card, but the one
mhm,
that I use and that, you know, the
mhm.
other ones don't have a balance on it, but
You pay it
uh,
off at the month.
I pay it off every month, right?
But
So
you're
it's
trained, right? Most
mm.
people don't do that.
But it took
Most
me a
people
while
just
to
pay the
get there.
minimum.
It took me a while to get
Yeah,
there. You know what I'm
yeah. That's
saying?
why I said trained, right?
Right. Mm.
You had to work at that and know the difference, right?
Absolutely.
we're in our students, and like my nephew, who's my example, that $20,000 loan, it might have started off as 0 interest rate, ended up being 25% interest rate by the time he actually, I don't think to this day he's paid it off.
Mhm.
Right? Because that's a lot of money to swipe for gas and
Right.
snacks at the convenience store, and
Yeah.
them shoes that you should not have gotten that was $500.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yes, anything is to take away, just to try really hard to just take some of those principles and just incorporate them into everyday life. You know,
Nice.
just,
Nice.
and again, I'm here.
Indeed.
I'll talk it through with you, Miss Perry. We'll talk it through.
Indeed. All right. Lisa said me. So she her
I done called you out, Miss
issue.
Perry.
All right. And she said Nicole actually took me through. So when I was at Tallahassee Lenders Consortium,
Yes,
the previous stop that I had,
yes.
yeah. So Lisa said through financial literacy when she helped me get my house, and so again, that's
Homeowner. I love the home ownership.
yes, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I used to teach financial literacy when I was at TLC, so definitely the
All
credit,
the stuff I'm talking, you already know.
the credit, the getting rid of old debts and things of that nature. So that again is definitely it's something that, like I said, is near and dear to my heart and for real my wheelhouse because
Me too.
I think credit in particular has kind of paralyze people, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because we get
Fear.
told what we can and cannot do on
Yep,
paper.
yep.
But it's just a moment in time, right? Because it's just a snapshot of whenever that credit report is pulled and it can change from day to day. So
Mhm.
um
You are
there's
right.
hope. There's hope, but you just gotta work at it and, get that stuff cleaned up behind you and moving forward. So, Lisa said, "I learned a lot from her. Thank you, Lisa." She said, "I couldn't have done it without her." Oh, I appreciate
Yay.
my sister.
Thank you
Appreciate
for giving kudos
yes, thank
while
you.
we're here.
She said, "I have been in my house since 2011, was stressed with money for the first few years. Now things are more organized." And that's what it's all about, right? You more
Leveling it out.
organized and in the flow and, sometimes it's getting over that hump to home ownership, especially if it's something that you can do,
Yeah.
but if you can get in
And,
that flow.
and think about this too. If you're taking those refunds and you decide that you want to take the first time home buyers class and buy a house,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? You got a $4 or $5,000 refund.
Yes,
That can,
yes, yes,
that
yes.
can help you buy a house. You're gonna be here for 4, 5 years.
Right, for sure, for sure, for sure.
You
Uh,
know, I want you out my house.
right. Court. No, it does. He said,
Hey,
"Greetings."
Michael.
Yes, he'll catch the replay. Appreciate you, Court. All right, so we are actually at the end of our talk, but I
Woohoo,
want to
woohoo.
give you an opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell the people how they can connect with you.
So, of course, I am one of the assistant directors at the Florida A&M University. I have been in financial aid for about 20 some years. You can reach me at my email address, or you can give me a call. Um, More email than call because I'm usually in the Zoom or with students, talking to them in person. But leave me a message, I'll call you back. I am currently over in Tucker Hall, so come by and visit me. I'm in 449. I think it's my office. I think I gave you all my information if you want to put it that way. I see my email address, I see my phone number.
Okay.
But financial literacy is very, very important to me. Financial aid is very, very important to me. I kind of fell into this career. I thought I was going to be in it for a couple of years, and look where I'm at now.
Mm,
Um, so if you need me, I am here. I'm hoping that Nicole will invite me back and we can do this again and get more people, to be aware of their situations. So email me. I will respond.
all right, very good.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Thank you so much
So
for
very welcome.
conversation. Lisa said, "My soror works with financial aid there." Rachel
Oh, right. Yes.
Robinson. Okay.
Yes. I
good.
know her very, very well. We've been together for a very long time.
All right,
She's
very
a good
good.
source of information as well.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, she said take care. So I hope you all have found this to be beneficial. If you have, let us know in the comments. Give us some hearts or a thumbs up or I don't know, something. Just let us know if you found it to be beneficial. And, I really want to encourage us to keep this conversation going. I feel like we don't talk about financial aid and financial literacy nearly enough.
Yeah.
We definitely need to be talking about it in our households, with our young people, and with the older people too, the adults.
If
Um,
anybody wants to do a workshop or if they want to sit down and maybe talk about parts of the FAFSA, I mean, I'm available to do all of these things. You know what I'm saying? I do them on campus, I do them with student groups. So if you know somebody who wants something more in depth, reach out.
mhm. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Trees, thank you, ladies. Lisa giving us some smiley, feel good hearts, so faces. Mom said very good.
Hey, Mom.
Lisa said, Nicole, are you able to set up an in person with our young ladies? Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do
Yeah,
so we
for
can
sure.
do something with the young folks. I would love to do that.
Yeah,
So let's talk, Lisa, and see how we can make that happen with Miss Carita.
yeah.
All right. So I definitely want to invite folks who may be new to the platform tonight to subscribe to Conversations with Nicole. We are live on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focused on mental health and wellness in the Black and Brown community primarily. But this is also part of wellness, financial wellness. If we are not financially well, we are not going to be mentally well. And so this talk on financial aid and financial wellness falls right in line with this particular dimension of wellness. So let's keep this conversation going. For real, for real. We really need to do this and not be stressed, but be our very best at keeping up with our finances. All right. All right,
Thank
good
you so much
people.
for inviting me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, my absolute pleasure. Well, we will be on Wednesday. I have Dr. Huberta Jackson Loman coming on. We'll be talking about community healing circles, which she will be starting next month.
Mm.
And so, yeah, we'll be here on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So we'll see y'all then, hopefully. Good night.
Good night.